Hello everyone, I am going to do my video on how to do this. It's really not a tutorial. I'm going to kind of walk you through on how I did this because people from the group that I'm a member of, Style So Me, they really want to know how to do this. So there's a list of materials of things that are must have, and there's a list of materials that are things that you may want. First thing, to prepare yourself to do this, a very supportive bra. So if you have a sports bra that's very supportive, then use that. I wore Spanx. There are some people that wore tights. If you're doing it in the privacy of your own home, I would probably do underwear, a bra. You need some type of plastic, thin plastic. We use the ones from the dry cleaner, and she put one side through one arm, the other side, and closed it. She also put a piece of O-tag strip down to your knee in the back. It was like a 2, 3 inch strip. And then she put another one to go through the back there. There were two people doing this. And she did the front and the other person did the back. Your hair's up. She used baggies. I don't know if you need baggies on your feet, shopping bags on your feet. And this took maybe 15 minutes to do. Bandages were pre-cut. She knew my hip measurement, my waist, my bust, and she started with the hips. Now, two people were there, so if your hips are 40, her bandage, 20/20, but you need some to overhang. So I don't know how much she used to overhang. I would say at least an inch or two to meet the next person. So she would do her bandage. The bandage is already plastered, and she had a dish, maybe a dish container, the plastic thing you put in the zinc and do dishes. She had two of those. She had a few of those, but anyway, it was warm water too, which makes a difference if you're standing getting casted. She would put the bandage in like this, bring it, and the other person who was doing the back would put hers, and she would reach this way, and the other person would reach that way, and it would overhang. And then she would do this. If she needed more water, she would put more water on it, and they would continue to do this till this section was done. They did not go all the way up. When this section was done, they came up here. She took a long one. Now the neck is built up because I built it up, but there was no neck really when I took off my cast. I think it's hard to put a neck on. She did this, and then she crisscrossed and went under the breast. Then they under the shoulder like this, and all the while she's she's making sure that this is really plastered, and they were good. They went down and they went up again. So they went down here, and then they met at where they left, and they went back up again, making sure it was smoother. And if there were some spots that she thought were too thin, she would put another bandage on. After this was like 15 minutes, it was dry enough for her to cut it off. She put notches here. Her helper put notches on the back. Then they cut. Because remember, you have that strip there, and they cut a line here and they cut a line in the back. So when we took it off, it was two pieces. It was two pieces like that. Took it to the table, and since we were bringing home that night, we used hair dryers. And after, I don't know the time, but it was pretty much dry. We put it back together, matching the notches with bandages, and sealed it. Sealed it with bandages. That was it. Took it home, let it dry. Didn't think about it. We had I think we had the week off, so I just kind of left and let it dry. I mean, it doesn't take long to dry, but I just kind of left and did other things. The day before we were going back, we had to coat the inside with Vaseline. You can't use too much Vaseline. We built up the neck. I took a bandage, went like that, crisscross, took it from the front, went like that, and then covered the neck, covered one of the armholes. Took Vaseline, I wish I would have used a sponge, and coated inside the cast. Inside, up here on the neck, we reached in from this hole, in the armhole to get up to the top. You could do it without the armhole, but it would be like, So that was done, and then covered the other armhole. So everything was covered when we went back to class. Went back to class, she used a foam mixture. She had separate containers marked for the foam mixture because you don't want to mix it because it'll start foaming. Then she had a container, like a yogurt container, and she had a bag in here and clips here. So she took her two Cool Whip or whatever she had, she emptied in there, took the clip off, baggie, mixed it, and we were sitting with neck down. And she took the baggie, emptied it into our kit. See how much it foamed, how much she needed, and it was perfect. After that, it dried. We came home. My honey cut because there's a line she had for height, and I don't know how she did it, but there was a line that she cut. She had marked on the cast, and she cut it. I mean, my honey cut it with the saw. After he cut it with the saw, I sprayed her with water in a spray bottle so the cast could soften up a little bit, and I just peeled it away. If you use enough Vaseline, you'll be able to peel it away. After I peeled it away, I put her in the tub. Use Dawn. You need a degreaser, and with a brush, and she was just brushed it all down. Turned on the shower. I only had to do it once, and she was dry that night. The next day, I sanded her, rough spots, checked her measurements, used a serrated knife, kind of fixed up these. I think my shoulders were off a little bit, so I kind of like fixed up my shoulders a little bit, and put some batting around her. Did the knit tube. I went with the knit tube. I pulled. It was two ends. Pulled it like this at your largest place. My largest place is here, so I marked here and I zigzagged the knit tubing up to the top of it. Then on the bottom, I made a casing for my elastic, and I put it down on her, and cut the shoulders and pushed it and kind of played with it so I could get it on here right. Put some lace here. My lines aren't really right. I just put the lines because I wanted to see the lines, but I didn't really figure it out. So basically, that was it. I mean, basically, that is it, how to do this. If you have any questions, let me know. I think it's one of those things where if you have enough assistance and help, you can do it. It's not something you can do by yourself. So give it a try. Okay, bye-bye, you two.